A few years ago, a survey was conducted among pilgrims. Among other questions, they asked about the most outstanding place on the Camino de Santiago. And to the surprise of many, above the great monuments, it was the hermitage of Eunate that emerged as the most remarkable place. And the fact is that this small and solitary hermitage captivates from the first moment you see it. Against all odds, Eunate is not located at the foot of the road to Santiago coming from Roncesvalles. Either we come along the Camino from Aragon, or we have to turn off at Muruzabal. It is only 2.5 kilometers more, but it is worth it. The beauty of the hermitage comes from its curious octagonal shape and its location in a solitary spot where no farmhouse has prospered in the vicinity. The building is surrounded by an uncovered porticoed gallery, also octagonal, whose numerous arches have led to a possible interpretation of its toponym, which could be translated from Basque as 100 doors. This hermitage follows the tradition of constructing a building similar to the Temple of the Holy Sepulchre that existed at that time in Jerusalem. The most famous in Spain is the Ermita de la Vera Cruz in Segovia, but on the French Way of St. James we can find another example. It is also very close to Eunate in Torres del Rio. This second octagonal temple has a perfect plan, unlike that of Eunate, but being located within the urban core, it is less well known and goes unnoticed. The hermitage of Eunate is of Romanesque style, built in the second half of the 12th century. The most probable interpretation of its origin goes back to a local brotherhood and a founding queen who was also buried there. In excavations carried out in the 20th century, the tomb was found, but unfortunately, the remains were not analyzed. The cloister, on the other hand, was once covered. The rough irregularity of its octagonal floor plan and its varied construction styles can be seen more clearly in its arches. The church fell into decadence in the 16th century, and the cloister had to be rebuilt in the 17th century. Fortunately, it has recovered in recent decades, especially after the creation of the Brotherhood of Santa María de Eunate. This has given it life, and even has come to have a hospital for pilgrims in the house of the hermit who is in its vicinity. The peculiarity of its plant, as well as the fact that it is isolated in the middle of the countryside, has given rise to the typical esoteric and Templar theories. Most of them turn Eunate into an initiatory center, and the stonework marks and sculptures into secret codes. These theories say that one should walk around the porticoed gallery before entering to make the most of the positive energy of this initiatory center. However, we will pray before the image of the Virgin. Buen camino.